What's popping, y'all? Welcome back to Pop Health. And today we're going to be talking about family channels, but it is going to be a different style type of video where I am kind of giving an update on the family channel video I did last year. One of those family channels was the Beverly Hall channel. And today I'm doing a little update on them, as well as a lot more concerning behavior that people need to be more aware of, as well going in depth of like my concerns at the time. Now, before I really jump into this family, I kind of want to give a better explanation about family channels as well as the foundations of family channels. Basically, family channels are channels that kind of like vlog the entire life, misadventures, and just everything about a certain family, as well as it is primarily run by parents, and the main center of attention are usually just children, especially young children. Now, while the term YouTube family channels has been around for about 10 decades, or not 10 decades, 10 years, excuse me, and while it's still a fairly quote-unquote new term, the idea and foundation behind family channels is not a new concept, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you have them grandmas, aunties, uncles, whoever that still keep around old family scrapbooks. For example, I'm pretty sure a lot of us had the embarrassment of your mom pulling out your old baby photos and you buck two in one diaper literally running around the house. Also, the idea of family, life, or this idea of like family, of a family being used as entertainment is also not a new concept, because it's been around since the onset of modern TV in the 60s, which, pillars such as the Brady Bunch, the Cosby Show, my favorite, Everybody Hates Chris, My Wife and Kids, and just a plethora of family-based content where, you goes into the life and misadventures of family, oftentimes for comedic purposes. And in my personal opinion, those shows really laid the foundation for what we saw in the 2000s with, family style channels becoming more of like reality TV show as shows such as Keeping Up with the Kardashians, as well as Johnny Kate Plus 8. Those are kind of like the closest iterations we have to like vlogging your families before this term of family channels start becoming more and more popular, starting in 2008. But really kickstart this whole modern idea of family channels, family vlogging, mommy influencers, as well as just basically just capturing your family's moments on a camera, is the onset of the iPhone. And, with the modern age of social media catching up right behind it with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that, basically it's now become more and more easy for anybody to just capture their kid's moment and just upload it for the world to see. And so now your mom ain't just roasting you on the family reunion, but you getting roasted on Facebook Live. And while many people really didn't see this as a bad thing to begin with, because social media was still this new concept that not many people could grasp how big it was going to be and how influential it is, now we have come to a point in time where, family channels and all that is becoming a big, question mark, because not only are you exposing your kids to millions and millions across the world, but now you are kind of, at the risk of exploiting them for many reasons. Now, if you don't know who the Beverly Hall family is, they're basically a YouTube family, really a YouTube couple that became a family, which is a whole nother pipeline video we're going to talk about later. But pretty much they are sharing their daily lives and adventures parenting on YouTube, TikTok, and all that. And it basically centered around the members Brooke Ashley Hall, Marco Hall, and their son Braylon Hall, who's 14. Mark Cannon Hall, who are 7, and Caden Hall, who are 3. Their images are going to be blurred because they are minors. But pretty much on their channel alone, they have about 8.69 million subscribers. And so just going from their evolution, basically they went about just doing couple channels and all that. Just doing random vlogs in Vegas, since they are from Vegas, and as well as like starting to like vlog more during the quarantine, and then doing pranks with their children and stuff. But the recent trend and why they're doing sci-fi challenge based, or they said they were doing like a sci-fi family channel, is because they have been doing this alien twin challenge. Basically there's an alien in their apartment, this little statue they got as like skits and stuff, and pretty much trying to garner the wave of just like scare content or stuff on YouTube, especially with their young audience. But the thing I really want to talk about with this family is that they are very shading in a lot of things that they do, as well as they are very, in my opinion, reckless when it comes to their boys and their development, as well as with one of their sons who has a heart condition. One flag I want to bring up is their kids' education. Now, as you can follow the Beverly Halls throughout their years, they've moved around, or quote unquote moved around, a number of times. Just right here 10 months ago, they moved into a new house, getaway. They did an exclusive house tour and all that. Basically a year ago, they said, basically a year ago before they moved into that house, they said we had to move again, unlock our dream bedroom in our home. Dream bedroom call. There's a whole saga behind the housing situation, because a lot of people saying they're staying in an influencer house that they had to clean and stuff, and that's why they don't have furniture in it. But that's not my business. That's not my business. But the reason I'm flagging this is because of their idea of like trying to homeschool their kids. Now, Caden, Braylon, and Mark Cannon, they are homeschooled. I can imagine, because they've been moving around a lot, it's kind of hard to be, settled into an actual education system and have some type of consistency. But they are homeschooled online, using an online program. I don't know the specific program. Brooke never really mentioned that. But it's pretty much she mainly, holds the kid's hand when they homeschool while she does her influencer content, creator stuff. This is just one video of it. Basically, I think this is Mark Cannon just dancing around, homeschooling in PJs and stuff on Marco's channel. And basically her still like doing her influencer stuff and all of that. Now, you can't really get a lot from just like a 20-second video. But the thing that a lot of people are more concerned with is just like the kids, educational development. And this is more so about like gossip rather than just actual facts. But the kids, like I said, have been moved around a lot. The kids are actively like moving around different homes. And, Brooke has, been very open about homeschooling the kids. This is one example of a video like this. You know better, so you did better. And so they're actually homeschooling in the car. She's kind of like having an arrogant stay about it. And, me personally, my opinion on homeschooling, like I would never tell people to do what they want with their kids. I personally don't want my kids in homeschool because I feel like they need to be out in the real world. They need to socialize. And, I feel like the best experience is going to public school, like going to meet other people that you might get along with, you might not get along with. You actively going to, be engaged, stimulated every day, having to like group work and all that. And I feel like you can't do that, construct an environment at home. Basically, a lot of people accusing Brooke of saying that social media is the only priority and their kids are only being used as prop. And the main reason that their kids are homeschooled is that she has a consistent source of income from having the kids around, and she can control their environment. And so that comes with my first, issue with family channels, because there is a lack of privacy and safety, among the children whenever they're filming, because a lot of times they are exposed to the camera 24/7. Even though you see about a 10-minute vlog, generally like that is at least a good 3 hours of filming, or maybe depending on what type of content it is. Like if it's a day in my life, that is probably a whole day of filming that got spruced down to 10 minutes. And so for them to do it on a daily basis, on a consistent basis, as they have been doing for like the past, decade and up, like it takes a lot of filming. It takes a lot of time to actually, edit that. And, it's just a lot of times where the kids are being, oftentimes filmed. And another issue that arises from this is informed consent. Now, basically, this idea of informed consent is used in scientific research. Like as a public health specialist, like I'm very familiar with the idea of ethics and informed consent. But informed consent is very important in all aspects of your life, because it is the idea that you consent to something, or you say yes or no to something after you get all the available information to it. And with kids, generally, like with scientists and, people in my field, we don't generally think kids under the age of 18 can really give concerned consent. Basically, they are minors, as well as the fact that, they have certain protections that they need to have with their parents. And also that's why for a doctor, 18-year-olds or under 18-year-olds, can't really give off any consent for treatments and stuff, depending on what it is, because legally they are not an adult, and legally they can't really, technically understand informed consent. One person brought up the same idea I said. They are there 24/7 to film. Obviously, Braylon's filming Brooke and Mark on a lot of the videos, because Mark Cannon is 7 and like Caden is 3. Darn well he's not filming. And it's just kind of like sad that the boys do not have any friends in their whole lives sitting around making videos, because they post a lot. Like just going back to the video, just going back up. Like they post every 6 days. They used to post every day at some point, and so every 2 weeks, and so production value has still going up. So they're not filming every day, but it's one of those things where, you know, it's a lot of filming going on in the house that you have to keep up, especially if you are actually living in that house. That house is expensive. Like I think it ranges into $1 million, and that's not even counting property taxes alone. And it's just one of those things where you have to keep, you know, filming and keep that source of money, especially from TikTok and especially from, you know, YouTube. Another person made a good point that can you imagine the ridicule these kids will get from their narcissistic parents, because they do a lot of flashy, a lot of, you know, flexy content that, you know, they're very just much like, oh, I'm better than y'all, I did this, and they disguise it as pull yourself up by the bootstraps. I worked hard for this. Brooke will give us this story that she was an LVN nurse, and, you know, she started from the bottom. And Marco will constantly say that he's a former MMA boxer, you know, who worked hard, you know, wasn't getting into the league, or not the league, or the ring and all that. And, you know, but he still made something out of nothing. Like their whole persona is like just flexing, just showing you all the big stuff, and like showing you the big house they got. Just go look on some of their TikToks. But basically, a lot of people are saying they're narcissistic. And they were fear kind of like for the kids' mental health that they did go to public school, because at the end of the day, kids are cruel. Kids will say the most evil things, and it's just one of those things where, you know, they probably will not be able to handle that. You know, especially their family and their mom is really much out in front. What this commenter said about she's putting them in a corner where they'll probably have to be homeschooled to avoid being bullied and ridiculed. At this point, the way that she comes off, I think that's the biggest reason why she's being homeschooled. Another person also said that they probably homeschool their kids because they don't have a permanent address. They can't register them in the district of their content homes, because I like a lot of speculation, like the homes they've been filming in their content homes, because nothing is in their names. How do you enjoy life when everything surrounding you is a prop? One claim, which we can't substantiate because I'm not trying to go through their entire TikTok right now, but basically she said they used to pay a tutor that came to the school and to school them at home. In fact, in the early years, she talked about not being able to be their teacher, needing a professional, and this was before they blew up as much as they did during the pandemic. And so I hope it's not 100% online and they kept the tutor. Those kids are already missing out on so many crucial developmental necessary opportunities that taking away quality education just seems cruel. And so I'm gonna link it to the Reddit thread about a lot of issues with the family. While a lot of people are saying this, I know this is seen as a gossip theory because it is, and this is not like a primary research search. But this was like one of the points I really do want to bring up, because, you know, that a lot of people are not really having red flags, because the way that they film content, the way they always do content, as well as the idea that your place of work is also the place where you go to school, as well as a place that you supposedly lay your head at, that is a big issue for a lot of people, because it's just, you know, there's no work-life balance that, you know, kids don't even have a concept of until they get into the real world. But like they don't even have a concept of when they're kids, and like it's basically not letting kids be kids. The next area of concern I want to cover is our recent video about they did on the UNLV, you know, Mass Unalive event that took place. If you don't know, a few months ago, about 3 months ago, there was a mass unaliver on the campus of the University of Las Vegas, and unfortunately a few people were unalived in that incident. And while a lot of people kind of understand, you know, this is a shocking incident, like as well as this is like a common incident in America, the Brooke Halls took it upon themselves to actually trying to make content out of this. But pretty much you can see them driving through a tunnel right now as they're like going home, as they're trying to like look on the news, as they're like trying to find out more information about this.
Breaking news, police say that multiple Nevada, Las Vegas.
Shots fired in the student
They're still driving on the highway. I think she's listening to the radio. They're telling people to evacuate the area. This is still an active incident.
It's here in our city, guys.
And basically they decide to drive near the campus. Now, in my personal opinion, as well as a lot of people try to defend them in the comment sections, well, maybe they have to go that way to begin with. Maybe they have to do that. Like, no matter where you have to go to, you pull off the highway if you need to and get off and trying to find a detour around it, because for one, you don't want your kids, especially your 3-year-old son, to be exposed to that. As well as two, it is still an active investigation. There's an active person. You don't know if they've been unalived yet. And so I don't believe in this offense that, you know, oh, they were trying to like, you know, they couldn't get out. Like you can find any possible way to get out of the situation, but the fact that they still decided to go near the campus, filming these kids,
traumatizing. I know it makes kids not even want to go
filming these kids
to school anymore.
and actually going to the detour, because what it made it look like, they were still like miles and miles away from the thing where they can get off the highway, at least to what they were filming, in my personal opinion.
Wow.
They're driving by the school, like they're actually driving by the school.
Yeah, it's UNLV.
Police say there are
Trying to get content for the YouTube
Look
channel.
at all of these cops. This is all
Like they're
shut
filming
down.
all the cops, all the traffic.
What are all these people doing over
Like
here?
I would see if you would just stumble upon this and you were just up on it, but like you're filming yourself actively looking to the radio miles and miles and miles away. Like it doesn't make any sense why you still think this is a good idea to go when it's an active investigation.
Wow.
There could be more suspects. That's why we need to get out of here.
And that's the thing about it. Like, if you knew there was more suspects, you wouldn't be going near the situation. And what irks me about this video the most is that they decided to make this a teaching moment. Now, the kid's going to be
Do
obviously
good at
blurred.
school at home. Like, this is why.
This is why we don't want you guys being in school, and this is why we want to protect you, because we know things like this happen, especially living in a big city like we do. College is
Like, they're trying to make a case of why they're homeschooling kids. They're trying to make a case like, this is why we want to protect you. All this, yada stuff. And it's just like, you brought them to an active scene intentionally to film content and maybe even teach them a lesson. Like, what are you doing as parents? Like, and I'm not a parent. I don't have, kids, but I've grown up around caretaking, my cousins, my brother, I've been like a caretaker in many aspects of the word to many people. And it's just like, I wouldn't even know this is like a bad idea. This is a terrible idea.
as the sun starts to set
And
early
what irks me about this video is this part of it.
on an unimaginable day for my family filled with a lot of fear, I had the idea to transform our heavy hearts into something brighter and
Like,
something
she made it about the family, how they're traumatized, even though there's other people that don't even have family coming in.
filled with love and
But
joy.
they turn
Before we wait
into
too long.
I feel like home should be a place of happiness
They
where
turn
you can
into this
escape from the
happy-go-lucky
outside world. So
vlog.
I'm determined to change the vibes today.
Oh, what are you doing with Come on
and
now.
turn
You
into a
gotta be
Christmas
like,
vlog. Basically, they turned it into a Christmas vlog. After, some like tragedy just happened. And this is the biggest issue I have with this, family, because they're one of the most unserious people on earth, and they're trying to make a positive spin on everything, but they're fishing, actual tragedies for content. Like, the video I did a few months ago wasn't out of spite, wasn't out of hate, wasn't out of just like trying to like be a downfall to the family. But the reason I did this video is because this shouldn't fly. Like, this shouldn't happen. Like, this is not okay. And just going into the comment section, I'm so glad y'all are okay. This is absolutely devastating. I'm sorry this happened. I'm glad you and your family are safe, Lord. Wow, this breaks my heart. Wow, my prayers to the college students and stuff. At least they actually understand. Like, she has a traumatized daughter from Michigan State, so she understands, like, the situation. It's just comments and comments, just wishing them well and stuff. And like, there's very few comment sections that actually, talk like this is not okay. Like, just trying to fish content out of like thinking that you care. And so when you think it can't really get that worse with this family, in my personal opinion, it has actually gotten worse. People talking about more with this family, and that is they actually exploited the illness of not only Brooke's brother, but also their son Braylon's condition. Now, to start this section of the video off, I just want to say no tea, no shade, no hate goes to this family. I just want to say this because at the end of the day, losing a family member is tragic. This is a part of it I don't want them to be attacked on. Basically, her brother, I think, who was 25 when he passed away, basically her brother Josh had a long list of kidney issues from whenever he was born. Brooke explains in this video. Definitely I want y'all to watch the full video of it to get more context. But I think the day after his birthday, or around his birthday, basically he went into kidney failure. He became unconscious. Organs were failing, and basically he sadly had to be put on life support at this point in time. And keep in mind, this is around Christmas time, so first off, I can't imagine what they're feeling, especially losing a loved one. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But the one thing that sets me off about this incident is like the way they addressed it. This is the first video they had on it.
Hey guys,
Just wait till how they open it up.
Right now, I'm like battling a stuffy nose. Like something went staggered through our house a couple weeks ago.
hit Cannon first. Then
Like, she's talking about a whole other thing other than the video where we're talking about her brother about to die, but that's none of my business.
I wanted to get on here because we have like so much going on.
It's just the
There's a
way that
lot
she
of
title things or say
unfortunate
things.
news that we have to share with you guys. I guess we don't have to share it, but at the same time, I have been sharing it because I've always been like very open and transparent with you guys about things that are going on in my life.
And that's something you're okay with being transparent about your own things, but you have a family member on, you know, about to go pass away. Like, that's stuff that shouldn't be shared. That's like, I think that's personally something that you shouldn't share. Maybe you want to share the update on it, but it's one of the things where it's just like, you shouldn't be open and honest about a condition of your family member. I don't know. They might have got consent for it. Like, they might have got consent from it. Like, and you know, that's between them. I just feel like as a human being, you just don't do that because it's just something that's very personal and like with their journey, especially if they're having like long-term health illnesses and issues. And it's just like, you know, keep in mind, this channel is monetized. Like, all the videos you have are probably monetized. This is totally different than going on Facebook and, you know, you announce a passing of one of your grandmas or one of your aunts and uncles or whatever, and, you know, maybe 100 people will look at it and be okay, cool, when is the funeral? Like, you're broadcasting this to millions and millions of people that shouldn't have any business into like your life, to this aspect of it.
Life.
Comfort, you know, her family's comfort and everything.
Sorry, the phone had died. We're gonna try to do this before the light goes out. But
like, you imagine you talking about your brother's passing away. You're talking about, oh, he was a good guy, and just say like, oh, sorry, the phone's about to die. We had to like, no, like, this isn't a reality TV show as much as you want it to be. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, it comes off very disingenuous, and I'm like, oh, we gotta get this out for views, you know. Oh, the camera's about to die. Like, come on, we hurry up. We need to get the light. The light looks good on me. Come on. Like, it's something that you don't do. Like, this comes out as very like Hollywood. And unfortunately, just going to the next video, unfortunately, her brother did pass away, and so she decided to have a memorial video for him. Now, keep in mind, and at least to my knowledge, the limited research I've done, she has not mentioned her brother on the channel. He may have vaguely been in a video. She showcases some of his family sometimes, some of her family sometimes. But this is like a whole compilation of like what his life was and all of this. Like, having a whole feature on the channel. And when you come to this image, which is going to be blurred out, you can probably see the imprint, but she has a whole picture of him in the hospital bed, as well as him off of, I'm pretty sure, life support. Like, that's him when he had passed away. You don't do, like, this is stuff that you don't do. Like, he's actively not breathing on life support. It is very sickening that, you know, since I've been in hospitals, since I've been seeing family members on their, you know, last doorsteps, on their last rodeo, you know, so to speak, family members and all that, when their loved ones taking off life support, this is very sickening to me, because it's just like, stuff like this is intimate. It should not be shared. And so if you thought I was finished with just that, we need to talk about the son. Now, her son Braylon has a condition called prolonged QT syndrome. Basically, I explained a little bit in the video. I had like a little explainer, but pretty much it's basically his heart doesn't beat in the right intervals, and, you know, that could cause different arrhythmias and, you know, could send him into cardiac arrest. And so this is a genetic condition. Brooke has stated many times that his father has had the syndrome, basically his aunts, uncles, you know, a lot of people on her side of the family, or at least the Braylon's dad side of the family, because the thing you need to know that Braylon isn't Marco's Hall's, you know, actual biological son. That's his like stepson. And so pretty much he has a genetic condition on his side of the family where a lot of his family members needed to have pacemakers. In terms of broadcasting about this, like, she has been broadcasting this for about 2 years now. So this is one of the first updates they done about the son and his heart condition. And basically, keep in mind, this was done March 9th of 2022. So keep a note of that number.
What's up, Beverly Hall family? So we had a lot of real-time footage that we wanted to share for you, but I just feel like now that
they're actually filming in the hospital room that their son is laying in. Keep that in mind throughout the whole video.
Cardiac pediatric ICU. Braylon is in intensive care right now, so it keeps like monitoring all of his. Not really gonna put Braylon on this just because I know Braylon loves the camera. He loves to be a part of the camera, but right now he's just not himself.
Imagine your son laying in a hospital bed. It's like, oh, we can't put him on camera because he's not ready to be on camera. But he loves the camera. He loves the camera. After all, like he's 12 years old. So basically, Brooke decides to subscribe the whole day. Basically, Braylon was up, active, and all this, but something was wrong, and then he collapsed.
That his bio dad suffers from what is called prolonged QT syndrome. It's a very rare heart condition that makes your heart intervals, makes your heart not pump how it's supposed to pump.
Yep.
And so I knew that his dad had this, but we had Braylon checked in 2017, and they told us that there was nothing wrong with his heart.
Yes, because we wanted Braylon to play sports at this time.
And we went to go have him tested to make sure that he could play.
Yeah, we made sure that.
And so this is kind of the fishy part of it, of getting their son tested. Now, I don't know if this is actually true or not. I can't confirm it. That's HIPAA information. But it's just the whole vibe of this video is very just icky because you're talking about your son's history. You're talking about your son's like this. And as I mentioned, he's right next door, like right next to you right now. And that's not even just the worst of the this whole saga. Now, this next video is her boohooing crying a day after the previous one.
Of keeping it together because I do not want to scare the living shit out of my kid. But I'm so scared. I feel
it's
so
edited. You see that cut this is an edited video, y'all. This is an edited video. Keep in mind as you are watching that with that cut. Yeah.
I just have this gut-wrenching feeling. I feel so hopeless. I feel so lost. Like I can't do anything. Just know
Constantly
that your kid
edited.
is scared and you can't give him an answer, and you have to tell him that he has such a sick disease that has attacked his heart. Quiet.
And I'm just gonna leave it here because y'all getting the trend with the family. But Braylon was released from that episode, and basically they kept making videos about centering around heart. Like, this is a CPR episode, how to teaching the kids about CPR and all this, like first aid. This is a heart update part 2. It's called With My Results, a message of positivity. Y'all seen the trend. She's sending videos around her son, but she keeping it about herself. Now, this video is a weird video. This is a heart hospital update, but the thing about it, this is kind of like a reality TV style Kim K, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Johnny K plus A type style, thing they went through, with their channel in, the early era of it. But basically, just look at the vibe of it.
I don't know what's taking him so long to get down here.
This is going to your kids, doctor appointment for their like heart condition you're crying about.
30 minutes. I really feel like we're all just kind of nervous at this point. Nobody really knows what to expect. It's been about a month since we've had an update from the doctor.
They got the kid in this, actively talking about his own heart condition to millions of America, like he's on a Bachelor or something. They got the youngest son is this, he don't know what's going. This was, and keep in mind, this was right after her brother had passed away. Josh had passed away. Braylon actually went into cardiac arrest about a year ago. This was the main instance I noted in my video.
Blood on my face. I have had the absolute worst night of
And so she's filming in the hospital
most of you guys
again.
know that my brother died on the 17th.
She's bringing up the brother.
Last night, my son almost died too. So my 13-year-old son Braylon is diagnosed with a genetic heart condition called prolonged QT3. This condition is pretty much where the electrical particles in the heart make the heart just start going like this, and then the blood sits in there and doesn't know where to go, therefore causing the body to go into cardiac arrest when it goes into this status, and then the blood sits particles in the heart make the heart just start going like this, and then the blood
And she
sits in there and
explained
doesn't
the
know where to
syndrome
go,
again.
therefore causing the body to go into cardiac arrest when it goes into this state of rhythm, meaning that there's a lack of oxygen to the head and there's a lack of oxygen to the body.
Yep. So this is a serious situation because, not only just blood functions, many other systems, it carries your oxygen throughout your body, throughout your brain, throughout all that. So if you can't pump, and if you go active cardiac arrest and you can't pump blood, you're going to go, your other organs are going to shut down, your body functions going to shut down, you can't get oxygen to where you need it, and so next video, this was done a few days or a few hours after the first one. I think she's still wearing the same clothing.
Hey guys, most of you guys know that Braylon is in the hospital right now,
I want to first
She got the LV on.
that if anybody is using any of our videos asking you for money, we would never ever do that. We're not. It's somebody trying to do a scam or something. I seen it briefly, and
She's talking about scams and stuff. She's keep in mind she's actually doing this video in the hot, and Marco trying to hold her do a video.
Into his brain for so long,
This
it's
part
fried his
irks
brain,
me
he
the
became
most.
vegetable, and his kidneys stopped working. So I was thinking,
Just give it a few seconds.
No.
Wake up.
Nurse is coming in. Beeping's happening. She's looking back at the camera, trying to block the camera. Like, don't film. Like, just don't film the kid. Don't, like, this is what people were talking about. Like, phones were going to be downfall for society. This is stuff that you shouldn't be filming. Like, this, like, a kid is, like, seriously almost about to pass away and you're still filming. That is just a crux of a situation. They filmed a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I'm pretty sure that is a heart update. 7, 8, 9 total videos just on his heart alone. But they're actively exploiting their son's illness, exploiting their son's, sickness, and one of the darkest moments of his life for clout, for money. And it's just one of the most sickening things when it comes to these family channels, because it's just, these are kids, these are like actual people that have feelings. I'm pretty sure, I don't know how much they talked to Braylon, but I understand how much he went through. But you should not be sticking a kid's face, having him, doing videos in his, ICU room for clout. And that's the biggest thing that, a lot of people don't see about this situation. Like, this is very disgusting behavior and narcissistic behavior. And so with that being said, that has been my video about family channels, the whole Beverly Hall situation. This is like an example of like family channels gone wrong. And this is like an example of like, me saying that, hey, maybe you need to put down the phone. Maybe you need to put down the kids. Maybe you need to stop having kids, and just not everything needs to be a whole family vlog style, content session that, actually spend time with your kids, have them touch grass, and stop using your kids as views and props. Because at the end of the day, you can forgive the homeschooling. You can forgive maybe going by a whole unalive event and just like trying to shoot everything and just like, putting your kids in harm's way. But the fact that you made about 10 videos and got about millions and millions of views, maybe even, I think, 100,000, 100 million engagements in total on all across their platforms, because your son's condition is the most sickening thing I can think of for a parent to do. As a public health professional, it's very sickening, just like the power of social media is being used for this, like exploiting actual children. And so that's why I don't, mess with this family. I don't like this family. I'm going to be following this family more and more, because there's going to be more probably coming out soon. And I'm really ready to see the development of this kid, because like I said, he's, I think, 14 right now. When you become 18, a lot of child stars and a lot of actors, of famous celebrities and all that are starting to reveal a lot more about the inner circle of their family. And I'm just curious to see like what they have to say about their parents. But with that being said, if you like to see that, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that wonderful good stuff. If you want to see some of my other videos, my last video I did on Beverly Hall, the one that got viral, please go look at this. It kind of goes more into the UNLV situation to begin with. But with that being said, stay warm, stay frosty, stay safe, and peace out.